This screencast demonstrates the installation of ProductPoint version 1.1. Before we begin, it is important to note that this is a demonstration virtual machine, as it does not offer any fault tolerance or any high availability features. Furthermore, it is not bound to a domain controller. All of these things should be taken into consideration for your production environment before you install ProductPoint. As you can see in the Add and Remove programs, we've already installed Windows SharePoint Services 3.0 Service Pack 2, as well as the Microsoft .NET Framework dependencies. Later, when we install ProductPoint, we'll be prompted to select an Uploads directory. So I've went ahead and I've created it here in Data Uploads. We've also already configured Search Services. To do that, go to the Operations tab, Services on Server, and Search. And here you can see that we have created a WSS admin user as well as a search user. We've also configured the system to index every 10 minutes. Again, this has already been set up and it is currently running. Next, we'll go ahead and double-click our setup icon for ProductPoint, and all we need to do is wait for this to install the necessary components, after which we'll have the opportunity to configure it. The setup wizard automatically begins. So we'll click Next, we accept the agreement, and then a system check is performed. At this point, we don't have enough memory allocated to this virtual machine, so it's going to complain. We can click More and see more information about it. But since I know what that is, we'll go ahead and forge ahead, and we'll click Next. Next, we have the opportunity to change the installation path. We're going to go ahead and take advantage of this. We typically install PTC products into the PTC directory, and we do this in case we have any scripts that may have problems with quoting if we have white space in the path. So we'll go ahead and click Install here. As the deployment wizard continues, we're going to go ahead and be prompted to what kind of install. Basic installs its own database, its Windows internal database, or SQL Server 2005 in version 1.1. We're going to select Advanced. We already have a SQL Server 2008 Express Edition already set up. We're going to go ahead and put in our SharePoint Server admin account. And if we wanted to, we could change and use SQL Server authentication here. Instead, we're going to go ahead and stay with the Windows authentication. And next, we have the opportunity to select an upload directory. If you remember, I went ahead and created an upload directory in advance. So we're going to go ahead and select that directory at this time. It's in Data Uploads. And we're going to stick with port 1975, which is the default port. And again, we created WSS admin for this purpose. We'll stick with that user. And here you'll see we have the ability to select the revision scheme. We're going to go ahead and stick with the letter-based rather than the number-based scheme. And we'll just go ahead and put in a local email account. We're not expecting any email, obviously. This is just a demonstration box. And we will deploy. Now the ProductPoint has completed its install, we're going to go ahead and go to our web browser again, back to the central administration. We're going to go to Application Management and Content Databases. We want to verify that ProductPoint is set up to be searched correctly. So this is the right web application. We know by the port we assigned, which is 1975, the default ProductPoint site. If we were not sure, we could click on Change Web Application, and here we can see Windshield ProductPoint. This is the content database that is selected. So we'll go ahead and click on the database name. And now we can verify that there is a value set for the search server. So click OK. Now let's go into ProductPoint. I will show you where you could add users. We go to Site Settings, People and Groups, and we can click New here. So most deployments will be done in an Active Directory environment. Therefore, if you wanted all users to have access, you could type domain users. So every user in Active Directory would have permissions. Or perhaps you have a group called engineers. It'll really depend on what your IT organization has set up for you in terms of users and groups. Once you select somebody, you can come in and give granular permissions if you choose to do so.